Hey, good morning, everybody, and we are going live today with Dale Clevenger, and this is a very special fireside chat for us. Um, Dale has been one of my biggest influences and mentors on the horn, and today I'm going to do something that's a little bit unorthodox, but I figure Dale is really most inspirational for me. It's a little bit unorthodox, but I figure inspirational for me.
Yeah. Can, can you, can you see me? I can.
Fantastic. Okay, so
Fine.
I am in the dungeon here because I have gotten some noise complaints about playing horn in my apartment, as many people probably have at this time, right? And so what I did was I went to my management company and I said, "Listen, I'm really sorry. I know people are working from home, but so am I. This is my job, and it happens to be loud." So they set me up in the yoga studio. I'll just give you a quick uh, tour of
Ah,
the practice space here. So here's the yoga studio. There's the fan. There's the closet with all the yoga mats and everything. And then
very
here's
good.
the mirror and the ballet bar. And there I am, kind of practicing. And there's all the
Okay.
yoga stuff. So we're set up in a corner because this is the best connection for Wi-Fi and the best connection for signal. So I have
Okay.
about 3 bars service right now. We tested it yesterday, so hopefully we'll be good to go.
Okay.
So, first of all, I just I introduced you and just said it's really inspirational for me to hear your thoughts about music. And one of the conversations that we had, you always referenced this masterclass with Daniel Barenboim and Lang Lang. And for me, that was a turning point in my musicianship. It was also kind of a window into your mind and a window into the mind of Daniel Barenboim. So, what I really loved about that masterclass is he was working with an already kind of established professional player, like a soloist on the circuit, but he was, giving musical
Yeah.
insight and thought. What can you tell me about
Can you
that,
see me?
Dale?
I can. Hang on. This came. This came on the computer. I should stay with the telephone. With the phone. Yeah.
No problem. What can
Yeah.
you tell me about the masterclass with Daniel Barenboim?
Well, he he did not talk at all about anything technical or athletic because in the case of Lang Lang had all the technique that he could, you know, is already there. It was all about the artistry, the musicianship, the details and the nuances of what to do with every phrase and the planning of every phrase.
Yes.
And particularly in, I think he was doing Mozart and or Beethoven, but that's the way he thinks all the time. For Barenboim, when he plays a concerto, in his mind, that's his opera. And an opera is an opera because there are singers, and the singers are telling a story
Wow.
while they're singing. And of course, the quality of their voice is to be considered. And but what they do in each phrase, the sequence of phrasing, the apex of a phrase and the tapering and so on. And this excellence is evident every second of his being when he's playing the piano, when he's conducting, or when he's giving a master class. And it still sounds very natural, and it sounds easy, which is something that we need to emulate. We need to sound very comfortable, very natural, very easy. It must sound like we really love doing what we're doing. And, you know, then we proceed. I was going to mention some names first before you get started and tell me what they all have in common. Okay? Okay, there's Frank Sinatra. There's Ella Fitzgerald. There's Maria Callas. There's Barenboim. There's Yo-Yo Ma. There's Adolf Hirscheth. There's Arnold Jacobs. There's Michael Jordan. There's Tiger Woods. Meryl Streep. Alec Guinness. Laurence Olivier. Richard Burton. Gregory Peck. They all have something in common. What is it?
Well, I was gonna say they've all been on Sesame Street, but then you read, Tiger Woods. So, I mean, no, I think you had me stumped because the first few were singers, the second few were really fine musicians, and then the third were really elite athletes. So I was thinking maybe just they're masters of their craft. I mean, that's
correct. They're all unique. They are all in their own way. They're all singing.
Yes.
Either euphemistically or actually.
John Ye says they're all great communicators as well.
Right. Exactly right. They are all fame. They all have great fame about their artistry, but not necessarily their technique. And it is universally agreed that they are all amongst the best of the best. And the judgment of that is time over the years that they're doing what they're doing, that they're communicating, that they're singing, their collegial opinions, the public opinion, and the critics' opinions. And any one of which is universally known. Everybody knows Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald and Michael Jordan. They are the best of the best. They work hard at their craft and their skill, but what you know them for is how they communicate artistry, beauty, the song. And for instance, every professional musician, everyone, no matter what instrument, they wouldn't be a professional if they weren't really good, really good. There are degrees of good, degrees of excellence. The ones that I mentioned just there, they're at the top of the heap. Yeah. There is no question in anybody's mind about how wonderful and how great they are. And I just heard sort of an interview yesterday about Michael Jordan.
Wow.
He did not think of himself as the greatest basketball player ever, or perhaps the greatest athlete ever. He didn't think of himself that way. He just did what he did to the best of his ability. It so happened that the world thinks of him and remembers him as the top, the highest level that you can achieve. As a musician, I always wanted to achieve that level, if at all possible. It wasn't up to me to say that I did it. That's up to other people. And opinions vary. The public opinion and collegial opinion and opinions of friends and opinions of people who don't like you, you know, and there's always that. Remember, I told you, Joe Singer told me before I got in the Chicago Symphony, it's very lonely at the top.
Yeah.
And all of these people that I mentioned were at the top of their profession,
Wow.
of their, you know, and it is a growth process. It is a just that is a process. And I did it because I love to do it. I looked forward every time I walked on the stage. I looked forward to playing it. I did not play out of fear. I looked forward to giving of my personality, my persona, just as all of these did. And it's generally agreed all over the world that each one of these names is at the top of the top of the top.
Yeah.
Now, you can do exactly the same thing. And you never, ever stop being a student. You never stop learning. You never stop studying and so forth. And I understand that that's what you want to do today. You want my opinion about what you're playing.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I will be as diplomatic as possible. And why don't you play something? I had thought of Tchaikovsky Fifth, the Brahms Trio, Till Eulenspiegel, any of the famous solos, lyrical things, technical things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have a whole book here from the Chicago Symphony Principal Horn audition. So I've
Yeah.
got all of the major um, pieces in front of me, and then aside from that, I have some of the Bach cello suites. But I'm more interested in hearing your thoughts on some of the great um, orchestral excerpts.
Okay.
So
Bach
we
cello,
could
the
we
Bach
could
cello
start.
suite were not written for horn. So there are many different opinions about how they should be played. Even cellists don't play them the same.
No, they don't.
And what's important is it convincing? Is it moving? Is it really lovely? And they can be really quite different.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with horn solos. You know, you will play like your personality, period. Whatever that is. And you know, people don't usually judge personalities. Very few people know what kind of personality Frank Sinatra had, or
Yeah.
what kind of personality Michael Jordan had. They observe what he did in his profession, and they have their opinions about that. So present yourself as naturally as can be and as lovingly as can be, and tell the audience, I love what I'm doing. I hope you enjoy it. Ciao.
Do you want to hear a Mozart concerto to start with, or a Strauss concerto?
That would be very good.
Okay, maybe Mozart 4, if that's okay, and we'll just play the
Fine.
exposition.
Any of them's fine. Yeah. Okay. Uh, First of all, I hear mostly music and less instrument. That's good.
Thank you.
I hear you're thinking about what you want to do with every phrase. That you have, there is definitely a plan in your mind. It does not have to be what I would do, and it doesn't matter. That's a judgment by other people, you know. But I would say you're very close to recording it.
I would like to. We just gotta, there aren't orchestras that are calling to record these things anymore. So
Well, you may have to put that together yourself, but you know, it may surprise you. You may be able to play it with an orchestra, and they tape it for radio, and you could use it for a CD. Specifically, occasionally, sometimes you have to think in terms of the phrase. Where is the apex of the phrase? I think you do that.
yes,
You have to think, how short do I want these notes to be, or how long, and where do I want to put emphasis, and how much diminuendo on this phrase. Occasionally, you put a little too much emphasis, probably on an anacrusic note.
yes, yes. Can you explain what that means?
Crusic means the primary stress,
Okay.
or the primary accent of a measure. Anacrusic is secondary.
Okay.
1 and 3 in this concerto is crusic. 2 and 4 is anacrusic.
Okay.
And also, sometimes you go ti-da-ta.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to say that that's wrong, but it's not the way I would do it. I would go ti-da-ta, more connected.
And that's because
But
it's more like
ti-da-ta.
it'd be like more like singing, right? Ti-ta. We wouldn't go ti-ta.
Right. There are people who think that is a good style to play this music. I disagree with them, but that doesn't matter.
Yes,
It
I
sounds,
see exactly.
it sounds like a hiccup.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, this whole section that you played is the lyrical section.
Yes.
And if you think of it, every note must be an event. Every 2 notes, the smoothness with which you go to it, the planning of the sequences, so that it's a natural growth, each new sequence, or a taper. You do all of that. It's the degree that you do it is what's going to make it really super.
Yeah.
And that's going to change as you get older, as you live music, as you hear other players play, and you may think, that's very good. It's not what I would want to do, but it's very good. Or, wow, I like that. I'm going to put it in my play.
Wow.
And for me, when I play this piece, I actually have a song in mind with words.
Really?
Yes.
What?
You know.
What are the words? Can you tell us the words?
That's that's an introduction. It's a sort of a prologue, and I think I'll take a little walk today. It's so beautiful today. When you're singing and there's a word, it's like we're talking. We don't talk like this and say in any language do we speak this way. We don't do it. Somebody would think you are crazy if you do that. And we don't do that in music. And the degrees, you hear me stressing words and slowing down and speeding up. You do the same thing in music. And you just keep thinking of it, and you keep figuring, how can I make this better? What can I do? Or more interesting? Or how can I tell people how much I love the horn? You know, and it is a constant growth, constant thought process of singing euphemistically or literally by way of the horn. If I hear the artistry first and the instrument second, you're successful. And when I'm listening to an audition on any instrument, that's the only way I can tell really how, whether I'm going to like to play with this person or not. They're thinking musically. They're artists. They don't just play their instrument really well. They're singing. That's the kind of people I want next to me when I'm playing. And I could name people in the Chicago Symphony who are doing that. Yes. To a very large degree. Big.
I mean, I would say all of our wind players. I mean, our wind section. I mean, absolutely. The brass section is thinking like that. It's so nice to be around people like John Ye and Steve Williamson, right, just singing through their instruments.
And if you compare that statement with the list of people that I read for you, those people are doing their thing in a similar way at an extremely high level of proficiency, of skill, of communication, of love, of what they do. And what can you do but imitate them? And that's, as I've said before, Stokowski said to us, if you want to learn how to phrase, imitate Frank Sinatra. Wow. So, and there are other names that you could put on there, but nobody would disagree with that. Nobody. All right. You want to play another piece?
Sure, absolutely. So we can just keep moving. We have, I do Brahms 3. I can do Brahms. We've talked about Brahms 2 a couple times. So we also have Bruckner 4. We have Mahler 5. We have...
right now, let's do Brahms 3.
Brahms 3 it is.
Now, when you play it on an audition, you may have the choice of playing the long note, the fermata note, before the solo.
Would you recommend that or not?
I always did, but I can perfectly play it. I could play it without the solo, without that. If you play it, you have to join the strings as though you have been playing with them. And yes, that's just the finish of the phrase, of the string phrase. So I don't want people to hear the horn. I want them, it's like an opportunity to isolate your lips and get ready to play and so on. But that's not the solo. The solo starts Ti-da-dam. Okay?
Sorry, just empty. My horn's a little cold. This room is freezing down here. Excuses, right, Dale?
Blow some air through your horn.
Okay.
All right. Quite lovely. It's quite beautiful. I would say try to do it. I heard, now we have to allow for this technology that we're here.
Yeah.
da da dum. Your blooming and blossoming on that note was actually a little bit louder than da 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 dee da. But where's the apex of that little phrase? Ti da da ya da dee. There. So I wouldn't do so much crescendo and crescendo decrescendo on the long note. It's your first presentation of the solo. Now, what was happening in Brahms' life while he wrote this? Or what had happened?
I mean, he obviously was in love with Clara Schumann, and I think
Yeah.
she, didn't respond like maybe he wanted, or she kind of moved on
Yeah.
from him. They were always dear friends, but they never became romantically involved.
Yeah. What else?
I mean, I know he'd written his first two symphonies, but his mother died, right?
Right.
His mother, yeah.
So to me, there's a combination of his own grief about his mother in combination with presenting that melody to a woman he would never have, to Clara. And so it's gentle, it's lovely, it should sound easy and in time, but not showing the time. In other words, extremely smooth. Tee-da-dum. Sometimes your tee-da-dum, da-da-dum. It gets a little bit more emphasis than it should. It will sound less out in the audience, by the way. Everything gets smoothed over in the audience. But
how can you practice playing slowly or smoothly? Excuse me. Uh-oh. Mouthpiece.
that's legato. The fact that we put down valves cannot spoil that legato. Now, when I practice it very slowly and solos like that, and I put the valves down gently, or I try to get a little siren effect. And then when I play it in time, hopefully that will make it smoother. You have da 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 dee da dum, first sequence, da 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 dee da dum, second sequence, da 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 ya da dee. Dee da da ya da da dee da 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 ya dee da ya dee da dee da da dee la dee da 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 dum. Brahms wrote for a natural horn. At the time it was written, they probably didn't play very much natural horn. Classic horn, but maybe some people did. But it's a C classical horn. That's in C, and it's a really long crook. And the sound is very deep and rich. And that sound of that key on the classical horn in Brahms' mind should produce a legato and a feeling of resignation.
Hey Dale, we have a question here from Dio Corno. How much historical performance practice influence the interpretation of a piece?
Plenty. While Brahms was writing in a time that the valve horn had been invented and they were using the valve horn, but some people were still using the natural horn, and we'll never know exactly who or what they did it, but they were in 100 years of experimentation. But still, the melody has to be so smooth and so lovely, and it must sound so easy. And he's resigned himself to either his mother's sickness or her death.
Could you sing the phrase from the dee da da da? Could you sing that to the end just so I could hear it?
Yeah. First of all, for me, there are only two breaths in this piece.
Okay, I agree.
For me, the beginning one, just before the solo, and then dee da dum there. I don't like to break up dee da 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 da. I don't prefer to break it up. It doesn't seem right, and I can make it the other way.
But you also had about
Wherever,
8 liters of air, didn't you? When you measured your
no. 6.5 was my maximum. My son has 7 or 8. Jeff Nelson has 8 or so, you know. But it doesn't matter how much you have if you don't use it right.
Yeah.
But whenever you breathe, it must sound to the audience like that's the perfect place to breathe, or they should hear that they should not be aware that you're taking a breath. If you can do that. But if you block off the end of a note before a breath and it's a little bit square, or it doesn't come down low enough in dynamics, they will hear you taking a breath. And sometimes taking a breath through your nose is enough to get through the phrase.
Yeah.
Probably not this phrase. You need a bigger chunk of air. And you need to be able to take a full lungs load in less than a second. And you have to practice that. So I don't want to be aware that there's a breath, and it's a jerk. And usually, whatever you come down to before you breathe, the next note should be the same volume as that you left when you finished. Many people play da 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 dee da 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 da. Their next volume is too loud. So, and you have to think about these things. We have the ability to record this stuff now and listen to it.
Yes.
But a lot of students don't do it. Now, I play whatever the tempo is. Only once in my whole career was I ever to play the whole solo one breath. Only once. And that was with Barenboim when he was younger. He went da da dee 3 da 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 da. That tempo. I realized that I had a big breath, and I said, "Wow, he's going fast enough that I'm not going to have to take the next breath." But other conductors go quite a bit slower than that. Ya da dee 2 3 da da dum dee da da ya da dum dee da da. Here's the second breath. Ya da ya da da dee ya dee da la dee da 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 dee da dee. You've had a whole half minute of beautiful, lovely, smooth lines, and if you play ya dee da da dee, you spoil that. In my opinion. Yada da 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 dee da dum. And on a natural C horn, they would have had to start very early to make that change. Yada da 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 dee. You couldn't do it fast. On a modern horn, you can do it a little bit faster. Yada da 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 dee. Yada da 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 da. But they are very subtle little things that I don't really want to be aware of as a listener. It just needs to sound, one, like you love what you're doing, and you want to make me as a listener feel comfortable and at ease. And what you're doing sounds easy as well as beautiful. The next time you play it, it'll be a little bit different. Every time we recorded something and we did 2 or 3 takes of the same solo, I would go back and listen. And I say, wow, that wasn't exactly the same as the first time. Well, which take do I want? You know, and I would discuss it. with the conductor or the engineer.
So by picking a tempo for an audition, you're basically just picking a tempo that sounds easy and makes the listener feel comfortable.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it can vary. There's no set tempo. Any cellist on the committee is going to know T da dum 2 3 da da dum. They're going to know because they play it along with us.
Dale, would you like me to try it again?
Sure.
Okay, let me adjust the camera angle here.
Definitely better, David.
Thank you.
Be careful with the T da dums.
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes they smell like a group of 6 instead of a group of 4.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Dee da dum, it's dee da dum, ya da 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 dum. And that makes the whole piece sound more reposeful, more gentle. And in my opinion, you could play more smooth going up your line. Dee da da dum, dee da dum. You did this. I would do this.
Awesome. So
Now,
beautiful.
those are artistic details.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have the experience of playing it so many times that you can choose what you might do the next time or what you want to do. I played it a little too soft one time. I was trying to be very casual. And one of my colleagues in the orchestra came up to me and he says, you know, excuse me for saying so, but you might want to just play out a little bit more because it sounds like you're trying to play too soft. I said, no, I don't want it to sound that way. I'll give it a little bit more, you see. And so I did. And so try it once more. Start in dee-da-da, dee-da-da. But don't emphasize dee-da-da, or don't play it out of rhythm.
Okay.
Some people play it and it sounds like a triplet. Dee-da-da. Wrong.
Okay. Let me do it one time with subdivisions just so I can get it.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Is that
All right.
better?
Yes. Be careful when you go T da 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 da. Don't play those so fast. Dee da da dee da 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 dee da da da. I hear this. Dee da da dee da 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 da. Smoother. getting too loud too soon.
Aha.
So if you continue with the increase on each note, you would be at fortissimo by the time you arrive at the top.
Yes.
So sing it. Even less than that. Less than that. And sing it like a siren. Play it like that. All right. I don't know if it's a technology. I still hear a pulsing on each note.
Okay, it might be a little bit technology, a little bit me. So I'll chalk that one up to I'm gonna go practice it. But I hear what you're saying.
Now, listen. I'm going to play it like a lot of people play it, and some people in the world think that this is musical. You hear that?
Yes.
I call that a twa-twa.
Twa-twa.
Noti playing. It's taboo. It's not legato enough.
Dale, you sound better than ever, man. You sound absolutely beautiful.
Well, imitate it. If you like it, imitate it. If you don't like it, don't imitate it. That's okay. And I know I'm not talking just about you. Anybody.
Let me try. Oh, shoot.
Bravo. It's just better and better and better. And when you go T-da-dum, you want this or T-da-dum. Taper down. T-da-dum. It's like a sigh. Right. That's more and more and more legato, more and more horizontal playing, less vertical playing.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dale. I mean, the cool thing is that you're just so passionate about music and you're still always, I mean, for me, I would be like, all right, I don't know, I've done it all, I don't know, you're just so at the top of your game and you're still always about excellence in everything you do. You still care and you love it so much and you're still all about excellence. And it's so inspiring for me. There's always another level to take music.
What I'm hearing is that you are perfectly capable of doing this to a degree which is, the audience can go, wow. And like these other names that I mentioned, nobody's listening to their technique. It's about the singing and the line and the message. What's the message you want to send? You want to tell people that you're in touch with Brahms because you feel for the fact that he lost his mother or she was sick during this time. And that's what Mahler did when he wrote especially the kindergarten leader, wrote about his daughter who died. Can you imagine a parent who loses a daughter? No, it's just you know. And these composers write this in their music, and we have to reinvent it, recreate it, feel it like they did.
Wow.
If you just play the instrument and play it well, in tune, in time, and good sound, there'll be people who will like that. But for me, that's not what music is about. Music is about the way that Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald sang, and each of them had plenty of problems in their lives, especially Ella, in their personal lives. Next piece.
Okay. Well, we could do a couple of things. I mean, obviously, there's the Beethoven 7, there's Mahler 5, there's Midsummer Night's Dream, which is more. There's also, we could do Pavane, we could do Schumann 9, or Schubert 9, excuse me.
Yeah,
we have
do the beginning of Schubert 9.
I mean, I know how it goes. I don't know. I'm looking for the part. Sorry.
That's quite good. It is a style and a tempo which is a little older. Some of the in the early part of the 20th century, conductors were conducting that tempo, but Giulini went in Vienna and was able to go into the library and to see the original first page. The original first page of this piece, and it's in the first thing. And he brought me a copy. I have it somewhere. I don't know where. He brought me a copy, and the first thing I noticed, I said, "Wow, Maestro, this is in alla breve." Schubert wrote it in alla breve, not 4/4. So I said, that means it should go a little faster. He said, yes. Dee da dee da 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 dee da da, and over the top of each of the half notes, some of your music, you have an accent.
Yes.
It's not an accent.
No.
It should not be an accent. It's a diminuendo.
No kidding.
And Schubert wrote a long diminuendo over each note. Da da dee da da da, and da da dee dee da da. The phrase is 2 bars, 1 bar, 2 bars, 1 bar, 2 bars, 2 bars.
Wow. Shall I try it again?
Yeah. Now, this time, every beginning of every bar is a gentle diminuendo. Play the quarter notes after it where you come down to, but clean and clear. And dee da dum, dee da dum. I would not breathe until dee da dee da da dum. Here, breathe here if you need to. If in alla breve, you're probably not going to need to breathe at all. And every conductor wants you to hush on the last 2 bars, right?
Yes.
So on the first rehearsal, I play it softer than they're going to want to hear it. So I don't have to see their hand. They don't have to do it. I do it before that they do it.
That's smart.
Because I don't want to be looking at a conductor and him doing this to me.
Yes.
So Dee ta ta dee ta dee ta ta ta. I play this rather full. Ta dee ta, and I slur into this. Da dee ta. Slur into the pianissimo, and terrace the dynamics. Don't diminuendo before it. And then the conductor and the audience will hear this sudden drop in tempo. We did it once with four horns, and we played it like one horn. But on the last two bars, two horns dropped out. Perfect effect. All right, give it a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, tom, tee ta, tom. Yes, bravo. Two things. Keep your fingers on the valves, because you'll accent with the fingers if you're not careful.
Yes.
And sorry, David, but you played ta ta tam.
Da, 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 da. Okay.
It's ta ta tam, ti ta tam. When you have to play that with the second horn and or with four horns. I use an assistant in the piece because it's very long.
It's a really long piece. It's a blow.
And I don't want to play. I don't want to play every note in the piece, but I had very good assistants all of my career.
I mean, the utility assistants up here in Chicago, they're the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like it.
Yeah.
Where would you use an assistant in this piece?
Way on down. Not the whole first page. I would probably be playing myself.
Okay.
And in the second page, I would start having to play some of the long notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me give it a try.
Okay. Are you? I don't know how you do it. You're almost 80 years old. You still sound amazing.
My thoughts about music have not changed at all.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I still hear certain players play, new young artists who play a phrase, and I say, wow, this is fantastic. I got to be able to do that on the horn.
Wow.
No matter what the genre is, whether it's symphony, opera, or jazz, if they make it sound easy and convincing and lovely, and it doesn't have to be exactly the way I would do it. That's, we are personalities. Remember, all the names that I showed you, they're all personalities.
John Ye says it brings back memories. Giulini, thanks, Dale.
Wow. Well, Giulini was one of the absolute acme, top conductors, because with him, it was all about the music, us, the orchestra, and him, not about him. When one gets so much notoriety, they can get to thinking that they're like a god, and they are not. They're not. They're still a human being, and that's the story. Are we near?
We're near the end of the hour. If you want to do one more, we could start another live chat and then start another one, and then we could have more time. We won't get cut off.
Another time?
No. So what happens is we get cut off right at the hour, so we can just restart the broadcast. So we have an hour.
I have a student. I hope she's watching, and she knows that I can teach her another time. That's not a problem.
Are you sure? If you want to do one more, like kind of just a little bit, go a little bit longer. It's just so
We can do
fascinating.
that.
Okay,
We
so
can.
maybe come back to this, or do you want to come back and do another excerpt?
Why don't you do Till Eulenspiegel?
Okay, so I'll end now and just rejoin, and we'll do Till Eulenspiegel after the break. And this would be a good opportunity for me to use the restroom. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Okay. All right.
All right, sounds good. See you all.
See you back.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We are back live, and this is the second half of our Music with Dale series. And this is the fourth installment of Monday Mornings with Dale. It's the end of a really great series. Dale has so much wisdom and knowledge and insight about music. I figured the best final kind of discussion would be a way that we could have Dale talk about music. And so I've been demonstrating excerpts and having Dale really demonstrate what his thoughts are. It's almost like a masterclass with Dale. Let's see if Dale joins us. Do we have Dale here in the audience? In any event, Dale has been talking about smooth playing, legato playing. He's been talking about musical thought, excellence, and I just want to say a quick couple highs. We've got Argus in the audience. We've got Maestro Kanayan. Hey, let's see, four flutes, one eye. We've got Joan Warner, Lizzie the Cat. Let's see, who do we got? Dixon, Lamhorn, Tamili 216. How's it going, my friend? Who else do we have that joined? Frank Paco. So Frank is a good friend of mine from Berlin. And we've got Jordy Navarro. Let's see if Dale is on. Arena Goldwasser. Good to see you. Jamie Resende. Dale? Where's Dale? I wonder if Dale knew that we were going back on live. I'm just going to send Dale a quick text. So sorry about that. Let's see. Jordan Navarro, Martin, hi dude from YouTube Symphony 2011. Man, that was a great time going to Sydney, Australia with the YouTube Symphony and getting to work with Michael Tilson Thomas. I did a lot of surfing while I was out in Sydney. Had a blast, a great time going to Manly and going to Bondi Beach. But yeah, I mean, playing the Opera House was a dream come true, and getting to see Sydney, I mean, just what an experience. We don't have Dale with us yet. Here we go. And here he is. Dale joins us back again live. We're waiting for the connection. Hey, Dale, there you are.
Yeah.
I was just explaining that we are working on excerpts and we're just demonstrating music and your thought concepts with some playing examples.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want, we can start with Till.
Okay. Go for it. All right. Very good. Certainly passable. Probably recordable. No problem. Two things that I noticed. Depending upon the hall that you're playing in and how you want it to ring, you got a nice resonant room there. That's very good. Play the beginning, but without tonguing. Ha, 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 honey. Yeah. Remember to press the mouthpiece in on relaxed lips.
Okay.
Consciously. Now, deciding the tempo whatever the conductor does, dee-dum, ba-dum, ba-dim. What does it say? Oh, do you have the music in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
What does it say at the beginning of the piece?
Gemütlich.
You know what that means?
Comfortable?
Not exactly. It means leisurely.
Leisurely. Okay.
Yeah. Gemächlich.
Gemütlich.
Gemächlich. And so Reiner went quite fast. Dee-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It's really a prologue or an introduction or a once upon a time kind of thing. But the general tempo is dee-dum, ba-dum, ba-dim. And we have to go ya da 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 dee da 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 da. So that's the tempo of our first notes. Ba, 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 ba-dum. I suggest a little bit of emphasis on the second count. So you have ba, 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 ba-dum, ba, 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 ba-dum. The melody is written in, the melody is in 7/8. The piece is in 6/8. So to show that 7/8, emphasize a little bit the second count. And then on the 2.5 bars, you start allmählich lebhafter, which means gradually livelier, not all of a sudden. And you played like many people play on the hemiola bar. You played dee dee da 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 da. It's da 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 dee dee da 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 dee. Bum, 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 bum. The first two notes are uniform, exactly, but in time you elongated the second note. As a solo horn player, you can do that. No, nobody's going to fault you, and probably most people not even going to notice. But da 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 da, dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da. That is the tempo of the piece. Your last three notes. Then on the second one, the second call, it is absolutely uniform, the eighth notes. Again, if you think of it and you can emphasize that second count a little bit. Okay? But uniform tempo, but more flair for the second one. You know, this is a town character. You know, whether it's invented or whether it was real. Most of those medieval towns had somebody who's, you know, a character who did crazy things.
Okay.
You know,
It's
you
not
piss on a judge, you're a character.
That's what the story's about, though,
So,
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Then the first melody, dee da da da, those four notes are all the way through the whole piece in one form or another. And all the way over. You need to bring them out, you know, when you actually play the whole piece. And when I was 19, I played in the American Wind Symphony Conductors Workshop in Sewanee, Tennessee. That was where it was in June. The conductor was one of the greatest conductors I ever played for, before or since. His name was Richard Lert, L-E-R-T. He was married to Vicky Baum, who is the author of the book Hotel Berlin, which they made a big movie of it. So she was very famous, and he was married to a famous author. But he was a fantastic conductor. He conducted in the Berlin Opera and came to America in the late 20s.
Richard Lert.
L-E-R-T, right. But he was a friend of Strauss, of Richard Strauss. When Lert was 7 years old, he saw Brahms. So this connection to the past, to me now in my life, this is amazing.
Wow.
When I first met him, I was 19. He would go swimming every morning at 6 o'clock, and he was in his 80s. You know, took care of himself. But when we played this piece, played the Till Eulenspiegel, I had studied it with Forrest Stanley, and I played it very much like I'm asking you to do it, with attention to these details. And the young conductors played it, and then there stopped the conductor, and he looked back at me and he says, "Young man, that is exactly the way Strauss wanted to hear this." So I know that on some level I'm pretty close. You know, it doesn't mean that you can't do a little bit different and so forth. You have, as a soloist, you have the right to do what you want. But and a good way to practice those staccatos is without tonguing. That ring out, that resonant, is perfect for when you do tonguing.
Okay.
So this time, play it and make sure that your hemiola bar that is right in time. Okay. You're still going ta 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 ta. It's ta 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 ta.
One more try.
Start slow. Start slower, as though you're thumbing your nose at the world. You hear the difference in that? It's more spicy. It's more interesting. I would not play it on this horn particularly, but
No. I can't believe you can play that on your Descan horn. That's amazing.
Yeah. So start a little slower, a little more thumbing your nose at the world. And emphasize a little tiny accent on two. Slower. Slower.
No.
Slower.
Okay.
Play this. Play this. Sorry. Play. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Do your thing that you do. Right. Now play that rhythm when you play ta 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 ta. Exactly. Okay.
This is fun. Should we do should we do it one more time and you conduct?
One more time. Don't speed up in the second bar.
Would you conduct?
We got a technological difference. Too fast. Dave, it's too fast.
Okay.
You're in a hurry to get through it. A little more, it's like this. Play this. Play this. Da, 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 da. You're in the process of getting faster. Bingo. That's the ticket. That's what I used to say to my students. That's the ticket.
Okay, the last time. Here we go.
All right. They are very similar. I would love to hear a little more difference in this, the second one.
Okay.
Don't get so loud on the end of the first one. It's just
Okay.
more matter of fact. The second one is when you turn on the juice.
Okay. Excellent.
And your hemiola bar. You're going ta 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 ti ti ta 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 pa 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 pa. Sing that.
Da 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 da.
Ta 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 ta.
Da 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 da.
Right.
Da 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 da.
Da da. Those are equal notes. Ti ta 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 ta. And short those. From the moment that you start the accelerando, it goes all the way down, down, da, 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 dum, bum, bum, and there's your tempo.
Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're a little bit shorter, a little more bouncy. Your staccato. Yeah, da da ti da 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 ti da 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 ti da da. There's your tempo for the piece. Most people can play the solo, but they can't play the rest of the piece. And there's a lot of stuff in there.
It sure is. Shall we do one more? We could
No,
do...
no, we can go another piece of music.
No, yeah, we could do one more excerpt. We could do... I mean, there's so many things we could do. We could do the long call. We could do Chike 5. And I mean, you're kind of the guy for so many of these excerpts. So you're like the gold standard of all these recordings for me. And so the thing that, I mean, obviously, like, I use you as a reference for every Mahler piece. Like, whenever I
had a lot of opportunities to get it right, or to get it close to right. And whether I got it right or not that's not my judgment. It's somebody else's, their observation, you know.
John Ye says, "This is amazing. You guys are so great. Makes me wish we were all on stage together right now playing Till." Aww. I love John. John's the best. Should we, do you want to do a Mahler, or do you want to do Tchaikovsky? Or Wagner?
Let's, what can we do? I would say, let's do Tchaikovsky 5th.
Okay. Now, Dale, let me ask you a question. When you start this, do you start it on third valve to make a smoother?
There's a smoother way than that. Open, second, then second valve, F horn. A little bit low, you have to open your hand, but it's all right. But not da. Play the first three notes in a loop, over and over and over, slurred. Yes. Okay, moment. Just a moment. You start out in what key?
You start off in the key of G. Is it G?
D.
Oh, D. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. When there are phrases in this whole solo. And the piece is like a lullaby. And it's a Russian melody. It's not original with Tchaikovsky. That we learned from Rostropovich, you know, who knew the melody. It's from out in the countryside. But you have to pretend that there are words to this melody, and in Russia there are words to it. So you have to think, where am I going? Where's the apex of each phrase? Accompanying and playing with the oboe. That's the fifth apex. Okay, back to what I was saying before. You're in D. What key are you in there at that moment?
A.
Right, the dominant. And what note are you playing in that key?
The seventh.
Right. Don't finger it 1 and 2. Finger it 3.
Okay.
Because 1 and 2 can be too high. You can bring it down, but 3 is better, and it's also a smoother slur back to the major third.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And always allow 3 8th-note counts in the second measure. Dee da da dee da 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 dee dee 2 3 dee da dee dee dee. Okay. Now, would you please play? Do you understand when you played it in a loop, how smooth that was and how nice? When you finally played it, it just was very organic, very natural.
I'm trying to remember that. I'm trying to go back there. That's why I'm closing my eyes to try to recall that smoothness.
No problem. That's very moving. Very moving. They don't have much to say. It just sounds very easy and very gentle, and like a mother or a grandmother singing to their granddaughter. And, you know, I can make up my own words in there. An interesting thing to do, and you could do, the orchestra starts to get a little bit more strong in the middle of the solo. If you start your triplets a little stronger and then do a diminuendo going up, ya da 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 dee da dee, and then open up. And that's an interesting thing to do. That was Schulte's suggestion back on my second or third recording of it.
Dale,
So
I'm just so grateful to share this time with you. I'm so grateful to share music together and share you're back. Yeah, I'm just so grateful to share music. I'm so grateful to share these ideas, these pieces, your experience.
What you did is really, really first class.
Wow, thank you, Dale.
First class.
It's just such a gift, and you know, when I'm playing with someone like you, it's just inspiring.
Yeah.
And you know, I miss you a ton, but it's like we get to see each other every week for an hour. I mean, how great has that been?
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah. Thank you again for sharing your love of music and sharing your experiences with us. I mean, there's so many more excerpts that I wish we could go through, but it's just yeah. I just really appreciate you, and I mean, thank you for everybody who's watching, and thank you for everyone who's going to watch down the road.
Let me say hello to my wife in Italy. Oh. She's alone and working very hard in our garden, and I'm missing her and she's missing me, but we have to deal with this. You know, I want to stay alive as long as possible.
We want you to stay alive as long as possible.
So I don't want to catch this virus anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm doing what they tell me. I'm staying in. I go out and take a walk, but I stay away from people.
Yeah.
And it's important. But hi to Giovanna, and I don't know if she'll see this or not, but we'll see.
We'll make sure she gets a copy of this, and I'll send you. I'll make a clip of that, and we can send it to her, and everyone can say hi to Giovanna. But it's just
okay.
Such a pleasure to know that she's supporting you from across the world. So
yeah.
Yeah. I just can't wait till we can get back together again because she's such a fantastic cook.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So
hey,
is this
yeah, this is a good place to wrap it up. And I think if down the road we can definitely do more of these if there's time, if you have time, and it's just these are kind of the very basic excerpts, and this is something that I've always
beautiful playing in general. Fantastic Tchaikovsky fit.
Wow. Thank you. Dale, it means so much to me.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon, okay?
All righty.
Love you, my friend, and big hugs to everybody. Thank you.
Take care.
All right.